Hello, welcome to the Reframing Mindset podcast. We are clear my head of the thoughts that are preventing clarity, practice my speech, among other things. Episodes range from informative knowledge to funny stories about my experiences, and in the future, maybe include interviews. So subscribe and enjoy. Episodes drop every other day. Okay, so welcome back to Reframe Mindset Podcast. My name is Constant Brooks. I know this episode is going to talk about losing confidence. Because everybody always talk about gaining confidence and such like that. But I'm going through life's journey. What I've realized in my journey, how with the way I grew up, what happened was basically me losing confidence, and had to like regain it. And that's basically how my journey has been. And I guess going through my journey, I can talk about this, because as I said my journey is a unique one. Not really unique in the sense that there's a lot of people that going through this journey. If you choose the road that I chose, but you know, losing confidence is like what happens. Through what I realized in my journey was that what happened how I lost confidence, because back when I was primary school, so back when I was at home, I have the loving family and whatnot, loving family. So I was just happy as a young guy, young boy, happy to have the family, and I had the freedom and such like that. I usually get beaten for certain stuff and such like that. But you have the freedom of the family that you can be something. But what happened now when I went to primary school? So when I went to primary school, I had a family there who was a teacher. And that teacher was really respected in the school. So, by that time I was pretty known. If you're listening to the podcast the early episodes, you'd have known that. And because of that, I was really sort of protected, and I had that reputation. I had the reputation of being that teacher's family member. So I had that protection. So I could be somewhat confident and whatnot. But what happened was, where I speak about losing confidence, was that that teacher eventually retired and leave, and basically I was on my own. So what happened was, where I speak on losing confidence, because everybody can tell you about. I don't know if people were born with confidence or whatnot, born with high self-esteem and then they lose it. No, I would need more time to actually figure that out. I would need more time to actually figure that out. But what I realized about losing confidence, I guess one way you can lose confidence is that you lose the, like, for example, when you learn to ride a bicycle, you have the training wheels. So I guess when they take off the training wheels now, riding a bicycle becomes more risky, and that's where that's a situation. So when my aunt left now, it's up to me to protect myself. I was pretty young, so it's up to me to protect myself. And then those protection I had with all those people that respected my aunt suddenly gone. The bullies were just saying, "Yo, your aunt isn't here. Your aunt isn't here anymore." So it's like, you know, I had to basically regain my reputation in by myself now. So basically what happened was I lost my confidence because the training wheel that I had, which was my family member, I just gone. So I had to rebuild that my confidence. But then, and it was not easy. I never got, I left primary after she left. I was pretty popular. I was pretty relative. True. I was pretty good in primary school. I had pretty good grades. I was one of the best, one of the best in the when it comes to grade and such like that. So because of that and the reputation of being that teacher's family member, I had the reputation, but the bullies still had it I see over me because that reputation can't really save you from being hit, you know, being hit, and I learned that by going into a fight. I guess what episode I'll tell about that fight, but that one fight is the reason why I never fight again. And he taught me a lesson that no matter what, the reputation can really save you from being hit in the face. So basically what I was saying was that I had the confidence by having someone there that I know that could protect me. But when that protection left, I lost the confidence for a while. I had to regain it. But there are situations, even though I may regain some of it, there are situations like the bully and such that keep on reminding me that really kept the confidence level that I could have. You know, the confidence level that I could have that. So it's like imagine it like a level. It's like imagine it's like 100. You have 100% confidence, and I was at 100% confidence when my aunt was there. Then she left, and then my confidence just go down to 50 because I'm basically on my own now. And then I start to regain it, and it reached like 75, and then it stops right there throughout the whole primary school because even though I had that confidence, I had that 100% confidence. The bully just kept it to that 75 because they even though I had that confidence, the bully could just simply come in and just just do what I want because I was pretty weak. But then I was pretty weak. I was pretty weak back then. I was pretty young. I was very young and very weak. So as I said, the cap was there. So that's basically I give you an essence of the primary school experience. Then now you have when I left primary school now, I went to high school, and that's another level of losing your confidence because so the first one in the primary school, I had the family member, so I had the protection. Then I left she left, and I have to basically I was on my own. So the next one now is when I reach high school, which is a new in the city, new place. I I had basically only like only three of my friends that I knew from primary school made it to that high school, and only one of them was in the class that I was in. And then eventually we never really talk that much, over time. But it was basically just the three of us in that. So basically, I'm on my own now. I have to build my reputation in the high school, and I was a science person. So as I said, that it took a while. It took a while. So when I said my confidence cap was like at, let's say, 30 30 in grade 7. I was a nerd, when I went reach high school. Nerd. But I eventually found friends, which had the same dreams of, reaching higher heights. But he was a nerd as well, so even though I had friends, they could really they really pull any weight in the popularity fields. They just want to pull weight in the friendship field and maybe like in the studying field and such like that. So basically, what happened was I had companionship, but my confidence was really at 40 because I was a nerd. I really had no say when it comes to girls, all those stuff. I was basically, it was, I was at the mercy of whoever was dealing with me. I was at the mercy. So, grade eight, and I eventually found more friends and more like-minded friends, that had the same dream of reaching higher heights. And this one now was more of a variety of popularity. So what happened was my confidence scale now reached like it was varying in this class. It was varying because what happened was depending on which friend I was dealing with, I had a certain level of popularity, certain level of people I would be interacting with. But what happened was that they knew the person, I didn't, and I was basically a shy person back then, rarely talked and such like that. So you have to understand. So I had the cap was really low during that first part of the high school experience, and that's why I talk about losing confidence. In my journey, I had the confidence, but what happened was when I reach higher heights, when you're reaching going to higher levels, the confidence bar is breaking down because what happened is the things that you were confident in, you're getting to meet people that are good, are even better in the things that you say you're confident in. So it's like your self-esteem is being shattered. So, but what happens is that that's not the end of it. That's not the end of it. You can regain your confidence over time, which is what I did. So over time, I got better at the things that I was good in, and it started to work in my favor. So over time now, I joined the basketball team. That in the initial phase, it never really affected my confidence level or whatnot. It just that in a sense, it kind of decreases my confidence level because what happened was I went to high school for a school reason, not for sports. So when I took up the sports now, that was a risky decision. That was one of the first riskiest decisions I ever made in my life, picking up a sports because, well, I did a few risky things in my primary school experience and such like that, but due to people. But that was joining the basketball team was the first riskiest thing I did of my own choice, without being peer pressure, yeah, such that. I was asked, so that it's kind of peer pressure, but I accepted it as an individual. Yeah, so that was the riskiest thing, and that really messed with my confidence level as well because every time I'm doing this thing, I'm basically risking. I don't know what my family will say, so that really kind of messed up my confidence for a while until my family accepted it. Understood it. I realized that they were okay with me playing the basketball thing, and then what happened was that playing basketball really started to solidify my status in the school. That started to get people to say, okay, it's me. So what happened was that my confidence now was back at 50. I was 50. I had still the same nerd personality, but people from the basketball team, they were pretty cool and such like that. So by associating with them, people were like saying, "Okay, it's him," except for the some other the upperclassmen, upperclassmen. So as I said, so uh, just to reiterate, the topic is losing confidence. So, based on the story that I'm telling now, I realize that the story, the assumption is that I had all the confidence, but what I did was I lost it on the way on this journey. I lost that confidence on the journey, and somehow, some way, I'm trying to regain it. So I guess right now I kind of realize what happened was that in in my little bubble that I was in my family, you know, I was the special boy, special boy. When I reached in the primary school, I was that special boy again, where the teacher probably remember that is really respected. When that gone, I was basically just calling, just just that boy. No, nothing special anymore. Nothing special anymore. It's all me, you know. And that's where it's basically like you losing everything and you're trying to regain that. And every level you go higher, it gets harder to regain that confidence that you had because you're basically going to higher heights. And every time you go to a higher heights, you're meeting people that are yeah with higher status that you have to get over. You know, so it's like to become number one, you really have from like what to become number one in this world of maybe 7 billion people, you have to basically get over 7 billion people. So to become the number one in my country, I had to really get over like 2.9 million people. So it takes some time. But over time, I actually gained the basketball really made me I would say I gained confidence, but it the repetition allowed um people to understand my situation, to really sympathize with my situation. What I mean sympathize with my situation is that the basketball really made people not realize that I lost my confidence and I was able to mask that I lost my confidence due to basketball, because we were winning and whatnot. So over time, by the time I reached my last year, my reputation was solid. I was pretty good in my field, which was science. I was really one of the top person in my field by then. So that confidence in my field was regained. So I lost that during my start of my high school because, as I said, my grades were when I started high school. I said I want to be a scientist. The teachers asked me what kind of scientist. I had no clue there were different kind of scientists. So but then that really dropped my confidence where I realized that whoa, I I learned so I thought I learned so much in primary school. When I reached high school, I realized that I knew nothing. I knew nothing. And all these other primary school kids that do not come from school from in the city, which the school was in, they knew more than me. I was like, and I was in the last brightest. So, as I said, I basically started from zero. I realized that wow, I really didn't do knew nothing. I had to really start to regain my status. But by the last year, I regained the confidence. I regained the confidence in my field. Regained confidence in my field, and basketball allowed me to regain the reputation that being that teacher's family in primary school got me. They respect, they, all the things that, come with being a popular kid. I regained that by being a basketballer, so that's another situation. So that's basically the high school experience. So what happened now was university. So with university, I decided that I'm going to rebrand myself. And I was not going to be that shy person. I was going to become me, a new me. And that's how that if you listen to my university experience, you'll understand that wild experience that's had being a university student. And that's because I said I'm going to the university being confident. I was my academic confidence is back. Being one of the top student in my field in the school. So that is back. And then what happened now? I'm said, okay, I'm going to university with this confidence in myself that yo, I'm going to just go there. And just talk like I'm I'm thought like I'm confident in myself, and yo, see what happened. And it was a hard adjustment because what happened is that, you know, the theory of being confident is like, yo, you can talk to people without fear, without being confident is being like you're comfortable in yourself. So when people come to you, you're a good talk and all those stuff. That's a theory. So that was the theory I had in my head. So when I actually went to university and tried to emulate that, I was like becoming a, it was like me fighting against myself because I'm not a really talkative person. I'm a really positive person, but I'm trying to emulate this confident side of me, which is more as of a sleek, smooth talk and all those stuff. And that's not me, but I had to emulate that. So it was a really fun but tiring experience because what happened was that, you know, it got me the popularity and the respect that I desired, but it distracted me from what I was going there for, which was basically to get a degree. So the personality, the confidence, it gave me the lifestyle that I wanted, the respect, the girls, the all those stuff. But it detracted me from the academic goal, and it led to me fall short in back then. To and if you listen to the podcast, you know what happened. So that's basically how the school thing goes. So I had that confidence, high confidence. I lost it, and then I had to regain it. And by university, I got it. And it was really fulfilling. So there's a lot of people talking about, a lot of ep- YouTube videos and all kind of motivation speaker talking about how to gain confidence and stuff like that. I am telling you about how I lost my confidence and had to really regain it, and why. I'm basically on the story. I'm telling you why I think I lost the confidence. So you get the school experience. But what happened was that the third year of the university, as I said, by the end of high school, I regained that academic confidence that I was really good in my field. In the third year now, I failed three subjects, and that shattered that confidence that I had. That shattered it to where it's gone to zero, where I'm basically paranoid now at my confidence in my fears because I have to go back and do over three exams, three texts, I, and so I'm going back there my last summer school with zero confidence and had so that zero confidence. I'm going there with paranoia. I'm taking school serious, studying every night, and all those stuff. And I had some and have I found a friend that I knew from when I was doing in the university that has failed also, and that kind of really gave me some solace because it was like, okay, it's not me alone, and the fact that it was like, not in the fact that it was me alone, it was like I'm not alone in this journey, this journey tried to finish what I started. So it shattered my confidence then, and I had to regain that. But I eventually did the three path with the three exams. It wasn't enough to get the GPA that I wanted, but I finished university. But that three failures really translated in the real world, where that I was shattered that I was my confidence that I had in university was gone because for one, when I left university, I was unemployed. I, I had no reason, in university I usually receive money from my family, but no, I'm an unemployed adult. There's less and less reason as days goes by for me to be asking my family for money. I should actually start to look for work, and I was looking for work and couldn't get any. So it's like, yo, I lost all my confidence again, and I had to regain it. And I lost that confidence for years, for years, and it went so bad till I even became depressed. So how can I had become to reach that peak level of confidence that I wanted in university in that 3 years, and basically 3 years later after I left university, I lost all that confidence that I built up over that time. So that's all life. So people can tell about gaining confidence such as that. And this episode will tell about how you can lose confidence. Like the simplest of things can really shatter your confidence. I know what happens that you have to build it up back. You have to build this confidence up back by yourself. There's people can try to help you, but it's up to you. You have to rebuild it yourself because you're trying to achieve your dreams, not their dreams. So they can help you in some way, but you have to really build their confidence back up. And that's what I had to try to do. And I tried to do it and I failed. Though if you listen to the podcast, you realize that the whole of 2020 I was sick. I was recovering from a sickness. It was a corona, but I was sick because I was trying to regain my confidence and I took the wrong approach and destroyed my health. So 2020 was me trying to recover my health. And what happened was, in my attempt to regain my confidence, then I took the wrong approach. I was trying to do it by myself. But in the real world, it's the real world is really different from the school. It's really different. I'm not doing tests and exams and such like that. It's a real world now. It's a really different, all different kind of thing. So I had to really rely on my family member that had a lot of real life experience. Actually, learn from her. So her experience, is like me going learning from her is like me going back to school again. Learning the ways, understand how did she get to her place, and me taking is like normal thing. Learning, I take an exam, and such like that. So I was that whole 2020 was me learning and understanding what it takes to reach where she is, and then figuring out how I'm going to start to even get to have a chance to reach there. So while learning from her, I found out about the driving class and getting my driver's license. And I started to learn how to drive, and it was a fun experience. That was the most fun I had since leaving school, except outside of that mini vacation when I was basically had no exam. I could play other games that I want all day. Learning how to drive was one of the funnest things ever. And I was recovering from a sickness then. And while I was doing that, I was regaining my confidence in myself because I like driving. I like driving. But what happened was, over time, I had to leave my grandmother's house. So I had to leave that bubble again and go into the real world on my own. So you know, when I went to university, I'm leaving my bubble, which is my home, and go live on a dorm with random people that I don't know, and I had to build my reputation there, you know, and that was successful. But now I'm in the real world, and I had to rebuild my reputation there, where my expertise is not even respected. So that was a whole different type of thing. So I could have all the confidence in the world. When I went in the real world, I was basically nobody. I was basically nobody. So I had to regain my respect from a society that see me as just another person. So that was another journey in itself, and you have learned from the podcast what I've learned on this journey. I know I have somewhat kind of respect. I know I have some sort of confidence in myself. I have to. Okay, so I'm back. I have to the podcast episode now is a 30-minute time limit again, so I have to really stop there. So I'm continuing from what I was saying. In the real world now, I had to regain my confidence in myself. So the getting that driver's license was the first level of rebuilding my confidence, and learning how to keep myself healthy was kind of the next step. Because as I recover from the illness, I learned what are the good things to keep my body healthy, to make sure I have the proper nutrients and such like that. So doing that, and then I must keep myself safe from corona, that mask up and all those stuff. So on that journey to where I'm at now, what happened was that I regained confidence in my field, because what happened was, as I'm a science field, I see the real world application of the field in real life, and then I see all these opportunities of me to actually do it. So it kind of rebuild confidence back in it rebuild my confidence. It, I regain confidence back in my field. So back when I leave university, I lost confidence in my academic ability, but and my inability to get any job in my field really made me lose confidence in my field, wondering, wow, will I even get a job in science? But this corona pandemic really kind of rebuild that faith in that maybe I'm not able to get a job in the science field, but I see a vision of the science vision that it can be it can become a reality. So that kind of rebuild that confidence um in my field. This podcast kind of rebuild my well, not rebuild, but it allow me to build confidence about in be myself. So that was one of the next thing in the real world journey, is that I had to regain confidence in be myself. So in the university, I gained the confidence that I wanted and become this person, but that person wasn't me. So on this real world journey, I had to decide that I'm going to shed the bag of that person, that confident version of me, to rebuild who I am as a person. And and I'm on the process of doing that. I'm somewhat me now, but the me now is confident in the person who I really want to be, while is able to be comfortable to be the person that I was to the various people that met me on my various journey. So the people that met me in my primary school journey, people that met me in my high school journey, whatever views they had of me, I'm able now to actually change their mind about, make them view me as a person I am now, or they don't accept it, and then I just move on, because what happened is, on the journey I rebuild the confidence in myself. So so that was one of the next that, that was one of the next things. So what the real world really did was make me lose confidence in myself. It the university failing those three subjects made me lose confidence in my academic ability, and then my inability to get a job in my field, or a job at all, let me lose confidence in my field itself. you know, but this corona pandemic rebuild those three aspects and three aspects for me, because without this pandemic situation, the risk of doing this podcast, I would never, maybe would have never take it. Well, I kind of did take it before the pandemic or such like that, but it was during the pandemic when I actually started taking it serious, because I had all this time now. And then what happened was I had nothing to lose, because I was basically, the pandemic situation looked like I was basically going to die either way. So I had nothing to lose. So now that I'm here now, I regain most of that confidence. But what happened was that now is that even though I regain my confidence in myself and such like that, the society still don't respect me. So all this, it was like in the primary school situation where I explained, I can have all this confidence in myself, but there's a cap, because like the bully cannot have can all this confidence and reputation myself. A punch in the face is still a punch in the face. You know, uh that disease is still a disease. A gunshot is still a gunshot. You know, a stab is still a stab wound. I'm hurt. I'm a human. So as I said, I gain confidence. I regain my confidence and um able to fully embrace be myself. But the reality is still the reality. I'm still only human. I'm still only human. So I guess right now, in the conclusion, what I'm going to say is that on this journey, you are going to lose your confidence, no matter who you are. Because what happens is that if you're trying to go to a higher level, you're going to reach in with deep waters, and no matter how you can swim, if you're say going to reach the top, you're going to reach a water that you can't really swim well. So you have to really take your time and rebuild yourself. And each time you're going to a higher height, you have to, like, the higher you go, the more chance you have for you to shatter the confidence that you build from the previous level. And when you shatter that confidence, it will take a lot of willpower to really regain it. Like, because legit, I guess we can get real with it, but a lot of suicide, a lot of deaths, suicide or something, is the inability to regain that confidence. It's not easy to regain that confidence, like legit. It's really lucky that I'm here now, because when you shatter your confidence, it really takes a lot to really rebuild it. If you have a good support system, it's good to rebuild the confidence. But bro, if you don't have it, which is most of the suicide cases, a lot of antisocial people don't are introverted people, it's really hard to build the confidence. But what happened is, you have the podcast, bro. You have the podcast. So, and the podcast is over 200 episodes now. So, you there that is thinking about ending it all. You have 200% of episode of me telling you not to give up. If wow, although this episode, if you're hearing this, if you reach this far, that's like what, 38 minutes into the episode. Who will reach this far? Who reached this far? Tell yeah, tell whoever you recommend to listen to this podcast to tell them to reach this far. You have 200 plus episode of me telling you not to give up, because I've reached this far, and you have learned. You have me telling you what I've learned on this journey, so you can rebuild your confidence. But on this journey, you will lose your confidence. So whenever you lose your confidence, you have the benefit of listening to my podcast now to tell you about how I got through the situation you're going to maybe lose your confidence in. Mm. So I guess that's really the benefits. I guess that's one of the purpose I have here, being here now. I've been that person to tell you that yeah, you're going to lose your confidence, but it can be regained. It can. So the average people telling you about how to regain your confidence. I'm telling you, you're going to lose your confidence, and it's up to you. Like people can tell you how to regain your confidence, but the thing about it, what I realize is that the thing is that you're not going to want to regain your confidence. You want to become you. And that's what essentially you want to become you, and you want people to accept you as you. So that would be one of your greatest journey on this journey of life. Is you becoming the you that you love, and then getting people to accept that that's the you, and really embrace that you. That's going to be one of the hardest fight you're going to have. And it's a fight worth having, because if you actually self actualize and become the you that you love, oh my gosh, it won't matter if people don't care or not. You became the you that you love, and you love yourself, and you'll be like, oh my gosh, I love me so much. I love me. I love me so much. And because you love you, other people are going to be like, oh, damn, bro, why the hell does he love him so much? Love himself so much? And when they found out why, they'll be like, oh my gosh, I love him too. I love him too. And as I say that, that basically is what happened on my journey. So all these people, that my fans know, you that is listening now, that's what happened to you. I became a person that loved me so much that you as a listener started to love me too. And you don't know why, but for some reason you keep coming back to, to listen to me to find out why you love me. So that's basically going to be all this journey going to be. It's going to be a wild journey. It's going to be a wild journey, but yo, you're going to lose your confidence, and the struggle is going to be how you try to regain it back. So that basically for this episode. It started out as a really episode, but now I really love this episode. I love this episode. So thank you for listening, and I look forward for the next episode. Yeah, man. And guess another thing, sorry for the crickets. Sorry for the crickets now, because um the time. But what happened is, one of the next thing is, this podcast I'm doing was one of those things that also regained my confidence in doing, because like I said, the podcast thing is not really a cool thing to do, and it was something new, something new that I never knew about, and I had to really talk. I never liked talking, and I had to find something to talk about every time. So you know that was so one of the next place where I was talking about losing confidence. That what you will have it happen is that every time you do something new, you basically lose confidence, because you're entering a territory you know nothing about, and you have to take that risk if you want to become good in something. Every time you start something new, you're basically a rookie going to a territory that you don't know about. So you're going there with zero confidence. And then when you become an expert is basically theoretically the person that has confidence in his ability to do what that new territory that he enter into. But even the expert himself is really not confident, because when you're the best, when at the top, you have no one to really call to you. Everybody's look to you. So basically, every wrong decision you make, you're basically leading a lot of people astray. So that's one of the risks of also being one of the becoming an expert in your field, and that's where you know the risk, the risk versus reward. So when you become an expert in your field, you gain that confidence of being like, damn, I'm really good in my field. But now you reach a point where you have to really put all those knowledge that you learn to use. You have to actually, like for example, in this pandemic, the people that created the vaccine have to actually come in now and say, okay, damn, I'm an expert in my field now. So I have to actually start creating this vaccine to help save all these people dying from corona. And what happened was it took a year, I think, to create the vaccine. And during that year, when the vaccine was being created, it was created really fast. But during that time period, people were dying from corona. I was like, damn, we are experts in our field. Try to save people's life. But yo, I have to watch people die every day while I'm trying to make these things out to try to save people's lives. And that's basically another situation of where you're going to lose your confidence as well. So that's basically it for this episode. Thank you for listening, and look forward for our next episode. Mhm.
Well, this is the end of the episode. Thanks for watching and look forward for the next episode. To support this podcast, go to anchor.fm/cssb/support or become a sponsor for this episode. If you have a product that you want to have more exposure, DM me on the Instagram page, Reframing Mindset Podcast, or on Twitter at ReframingP. Either way would help. Thank you regardless for listening, and here's a preview for the next episode.
A new update, basically, yo, new merch alert, new merch. our our first merchandise. I can't believe it. I can't believe it, bro. But we actually might have a merchandise. So basically, what it is, it's it's a cushion, a nice pillow cushion that you can basically on put on your like place on your couch or on your bed. Yes, and yes, it's really good. And it's I can't complain. It looks really nice. So I guess I'll put some pictures of it in the